Hey YouTube, if you watched my video last week, I was playing a matchup of Mantine versus Jellicent, and they were doing super effective against me. And I'm like, what does this have that is doing super effective against me? Mantine doesn't get Astonished, does it? No. Astonished would be dumb, but it's not as dumb as what it actually gets, and it gets Bullet Seed. And I'm like, how does a water flying Pokemon get Bullet Seed? Truly, like, water is weak to grass and flying beats grass, and then you have grass move. How does that make sense? Now, someone in the comments when I kind of brought this up said, what do they say? That it has Remoraid's on its wings, which evolves into, so it's like a jet. So like maybe they're shooting like a jet. So I don't know. Either way, it did make sense. So I'm like, I bet you there's a lot more moves in this game that do not make sense. So I have some of my own, and then I asked it in the Discord, what moves on Pokemon do not make sense to you? So we're gonna go over them now. If you have any thoughts, like I don't normally ask questions ahead of time, but drop it in the comments below. Is there a move that is in the game, either the main series games, because I'm gonna cover one that's not in Pokemon Go, but it's in the main series games. That's in either the main series games or in Pokemon Go, that you're like, why the heck does this Pokemon have this move? So let's go over some, and we'll jump. My second on this list is Typhlosion, because Typhlosion, fire Pokemon. I don't even mind the Thunder Punch, which is kind of crazy in itself. It's the Solar Beam that gets me. Again, a move that maybe you can like argue like fire and sun and are connected, but I know it's a coverage move, and I understand in the games you want to have coverage moves, right? Because if you just had Pokemon with their own typings, that would not make any sense. So I understand the purpose of of other typings, but like I feel like I can get behind a Thunder Punch a lot more than a Solar Beam, but maybe I'm off there. So the Solar Beam just seems like a crazy coverage move that has no other rhyme or reason besides being a coverage move. The next on this list is something that I always used to get wrong, because why does this thing have 3 dragon moves if it's not a dragon? It should be a dragon, right? Are people with me that Gyarados should be a dragon and not a flying Pokemon? So Gyarados is a water flying Pokemon, and you know that if you've used it and realized that you're double weak to electric, but it has Dragon Breath, Dragon Tail fast moves, and Outrage, Twister, Dragon Pulse charge moves. It's got more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got 50% fast move dragon, 50% charge move dragons. Why is this not a dragon Pokemon? How is this a flying Pokemon and not a dragon? It should be a dragon water Pokemon. I'm open for debates here, but it makes no sense that it has so many dragon moves and it is a flying Pokemon. What the hell makes it a flying? Because it can levitate? Guess what? So can dragons. Starmie. Starmie, of course, is a water Pokemon. And Starmie, as a water Pokemon, is weak to electric. Don't want to get zapped if you're a water Pokemon. It's a way that you can maybe get zapped by throwing a Thunder. How does a water Pokemon have an electric move? Like, I can get behind Ice. It's a psychic Pokemon as well. I can get behind Psychic. I can even get behind like throwing gems and your mind or whatever. It's like Psychic and throwing stuff like that. Sure. Thunder? You're weak to electric. Oh, I'm going to throw this Thunder at you. I hope it doesn't accidentally come near me and I get hit, or else I'm going to go down. Doesn't make sense. Lapras. Again, with these dragons, I don't understand why so many of these Pokemon got dragon moves. Again, I can get behind normal typing moves, because it feels like a lot of Pokemon have like normal typings. And I give normal type, like someone mentioned, do I have it on this? Yeah. I'll talk about Dunsparce and Astonish. I felt like in the main series games, it's just like if you're normal typing, you were allowed to like almost have everything. Like it just felt like, and especially in series 1s, like I know Nidoqueen wasn't normal, but I remember Nidoqueen when I used to have it on the team was just like any TM would be like, yeah, oh yeah, Nidoqueen can learn it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess there's some Pokemon like that. But again, it just seems like so out of place. Like water, ice, water, normal, another ice, another water. Oh yeah, a dragon. Like what? Where the hell did this dragon come from? So that seems out of place. Again, Psywave kind of also seems out of place, but maybe you get that in the main series games. So Dunsparce. Dunsparce gets Astonish. which again is kind of funny because the only thing that it resists is ghost, right? It has one resistance and it double resists ghost. So the fact that it double resists ghost and also throws a ghost fast move is, I get why people would be like, that doesn't make any sense. I also think that, like, again, I'm under the assumption that normal typings, because there's not really like many normal type moves, right? You got like body slam, swift, maybe a couple others. There's not a lot of normal type moves. So I feel like normal types are almost allowed to be able to TM more onto their Pokemon. So I'm more fine with that happening. But another Pokemon those are most of the ones. Everything above Dust, like Lapras, Starmie, Gyarados, Typhlosion, Mantine were mine. The rest are users from the Discord subscribers. And the first one was Fairthorn with the Thunder. Yeah. So a grass steel type, you resist electric because you are grass resisting electric. So you can throw Thunder. Again, being able to throw Thunder when you resist it makes more sense to me than throwing Thunder when you are weak to it. But it does feel out of place, right? You have steel moves, grass moves, normal type moves. Acid Spray seems a little, but like poison and grass, I feel like are connected almost because there's so many poison grass Pokemon. Like there's Venusaur and Shadow and like Vic and Amoonguss, and there's just a lot of poison grass. So like I can get behind a poison move for a grass Pokemon. Electric though, it does seem very out of place. It just seems like a coverage move but you already have coverage for water. Like why flying? I guess flying, right? You are as a grass. I mean, you're neutral to flying because you're half steel, but basically grass is weak to flying, so maybe it just gives you a coverage move. But again, it's just like, why do you have Thunder as a grass Pokemon? And now we have a couple Charmers. So the first one is just kind of funny, like Donphan. Donphan is a ground Pokemon which has access to Charm and Play Rough. So Donphan, like a little sort of like elephant looking ground Pokemon that has access to Charm and Play Rough. It's also one of those like Trailblaze seems, I know it just got Trailblaze, that also seems to like make no sense to me. And someone mentioned that when it comes to Claydol too with Ice Beams, like what's it all these Pokemon having charge moves that would otherwise do super effective against yourself? So Trailblaze does super effective against ground and you have that move. But you also have charm moves. Like why? I would assume that like, and see, this is why I don't know anything about the main series games. Because it's like, when I think of charm, there's like, I know in of itself how strong the charm is. But like, what is charm? What is the word charm? Is it like, because you can be like, charm, like I'm charming? Is it charm like you're casting like a charm, like a spell? I would go with that one because you're fairy, right? You're casting like a spell. That's the way I read it. Like it's a charm, you're casting like a spell for fairy, which again does not make sense why all these other people, all these non-charmers, all these non-fairies have charm. And someone mentioned another non-fairy that has charm is Tyrantum. Yes, the dragon rock Pokemon has charm. Casting those fairy spells as a dragon, which you are weak to. So again, this is another one. It's just like, why do you have charm? You already have two heavy damage moves in Rock Throw and Dragon Tail. Why do you have like a non-stab charm of which you are weak to with the end? What's with all these Pokemon having moves that they're weak to? It doesn't make any sense to me. And speaking about Pokemon that has a million type moves, because Niantic has tried to make this thing meta for a while now, and they've almost got there. A couple more moves, and it'll get there eventually. Claydol. Now, Claydol has a bunch of moves. Again, I can buy it's rock, it's ground and psychic, so I can get behind rock moves. Psychic and shadow, ghost. I can almost like, I can see they're like, I know they hit super effective against each other, but at least they're correlated in some way. Ice Beam. You're weak to Ice Beam. Where does the ice come from? And if you accidentally, if it's windy and you get a little ice on you, do you take super effective from that? Another one I can't get behind. And again, now we got to go to the Master League because someone said Zacian with Snarl doesn't really make sense. And you're right. Why would a fairy type Pokemon have a dark type fast move? Unless there's like some evolution or reason. Again, I'm sure there's reasons for all these things. Like some of these reasons are just like to have coverage moves. Some of them they may have other reasons, but I do not know what they are. There's another one, same thing. Another fairy type Enamorus has Grass Knot. It's like, and it's a fairy flying Pokemon. So like, why does a flying Pokemon throw a grass move? Like that does not make any sense. So and again, yeah, a flying Pokemon with a grass type move, and one more Pokemon on this list that someone mentioned, Rhyperior. Rhyperior, for those of you who know its typing, is a rock and ground Pokemon, which means you are double weak to water. Double weak to water and grass. So I sure hope that we're nowhere near water. Oh, surf. So last time I checked, when you're surfing on something, you're surfing on top of water. So you're surfing on top of something that it would do double super effective damage to you. Why? Besides coverage. But even that, is that even good coverage? I don't know. When you're double weak to ground and when you're double weak to grass and water, why would you have a water type move? And why would you have a water type move when you're like how would it actually work in Rhyperior? I don't think Rhyperior is a great surfer. He seems like it's huge and bulky and like awkward. And you're not going to surf on your stomach because then you just be like burning your stomach with all the surf. I don't understand. Anyways, if there are other Pokemon. Oh, and let's cover the one that's not in the game. Let me check Vikavolt first. Vikavolt? Was it Vikavolt? Oh yeah, here we go. Vikavolt as a bug electric Pokemon. So electric being weak to ground and bug resisting ground has Mud Slap. Now I can get by with Mud Slap a bit here because as a bug, I can see you like digging into the ground and just like flicking it up and slapping it at people. So I can kind of get behind this. Like, yeah, like bugs live in the ground. They can utilize the earth around them. So I'm fine with Mud Slap. Although you are weak to it as well. But I guess you neutralize it so it's just kind of like comfortable for you. I don't know. But not in this game. There is, let me see if I can just bring up the message here about Ice Punch, because it was brought up that where's the image here? One of these 4 Pokemon cannot learn Ice Punch, and it's the only one with real arms. The ice Pokemon with arms is the only one that cannot learn Ice Punch. Ghastly with no arms can learn Ice Punch. Wooper with no arms can learn Ice Punch. Probopass with I guess okayish arms learns Ice Punch, even though it's an electric Pokemon. Kyurem, with those muscular arms right there, cannot learn Ice Punch. So the main series game is crazy. Like what? And I guess there is no sort of rhyme or reason to these moves. I remember like, again, I only played Pokemon Red, Gold, and Yellow. And my team was always Pidgeot, which is basically just flying type moves. And then if I went between Charmander and Squirtle, never Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was always my brother, but it just seemed useless to me. Like Charmander becomes Charizard, and it was a mixture of flying and fire. And Blastoise was your water Pokemon, so it had a lot of water, but also had like ice moves and Blizzard, which I can get behind. And sometimes like Skull Bash, which I can like get behind normal type moves on these Pokemon. So I can justify all those. And then I used Alakazam, which was like pretty much all psychic. It also could like learn like dark type moves, but again, dark and psychic seem connected to me. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then the other one switched. I used Jolteon a lot because it was just good for the main, and Jolteon was mostly just around like electric moves, some other type moves too. But then it was always like Nidoqueen. Yeah, I think it was Nidoqueen or Nidoking. One of the two I used. Just because it was able to learn like everything. And I didn't understand like I think you get same type attack bonus in the main series game too. I don't even know. But I just remember using it because it was like, oh, it wants to learn Earthquake. Oh, it wants to learn Surf. Oh, it wants to learn this. It wants to learn this. It can learn everything. And someone was mentioning, maybe in here, that, oh, Dragon. I didn't even talk about Dragonite. Because Jason says Dragonite. Dragonite learns Blizzard, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, Rock Tomb. Which, yeah, it doesn't make sense that it knows all those too. But yeah, it just seems like that. Who said it? That the main series games. Yeah, here it is. A good rule of thumb is that if it came from Gen 1, it knows almost everything. I've been going through and looking at what's possible move Pokemon could get and go that they have in the main series games, and starting at Gen 1 feels like a mistake. So I guess like back in the day, they didn't like truly think through the move sets on these Pokemon, or they're just like more willing to just kind of give people crap. So yeah, it's always caught me off guard. Yeah, anyways. So these moves are, now the question is, what people will go to is, are any of these moves usable, can catch you off guard? So like the Bullet Seed on Mantine completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting it. I don't think that it's I don't think I would use it. I think that I would just rather just use Wing Attack because you get the same type of attack bonus on it. It is faster charging, so if you want to charge a bit faster. Typhlosion, I think people know Typhlosion has it because it's like a surprise new. Gyarados, obviously people know it has it. The question is like, are any of these moves worth using? I've seen Astonish being used on Dunsparce. I think I would probably just use Rollout. Fairthorn Thunder is actually like one of the normal moves that use. And if Donphan and Tyranitar are using Charm, it's got to be because it's in like a limited cup where that move is effective and they're in it, sort of thing. Clado with Ice Beam, I think Homeslice says use Ice Beam, so I know that a lot of people are using that. Snarl for energy generation on Zacian was one of the moves people use. Before Break and Swipe and Rock Wrecker, Surf was one of the moves that people used on Rapier. They still may use it, but I think Break and Swipe and Rock Wrecker are the two that are used in Master League. But yeah, Surf was the other one that people always use, so they should know that. And in Amorous, I don't know if people knew about Grass Knot or not, but yeah, anyways. Thought I would do this video for something more fun and different as opposed to another Spring Cup team. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you knew about any of these, if you have justifications for any of these. Again, as someone who didn't play the main series games, do not know the history. So would love to know the history if you guys know it. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you get lots of chocolate from the Easter Bunny if you celebrate. And that is it. So I will see you guys in the next one.